We're replying back there to the DVD that you made there on Facebook last night, Aney, and one there this morning. You said a lot about foolish things in it. But there's a fella here who wants to correct you on those few words that you said was foolish. And let me talk to him here now.
Well, Aney, this is me, Patrick. I won't call you uncle because I was corrected last night from all my own people that you're not my uncle because you're an adopted child. And number two, Aney, you're going around calling yourself a king. And I'm not being ignorant with you. Every round that you're getting into lately is all you're shouting is the McPhees, the McPhees. You're saying, Aney, I want to be Joyce. But in the name of God, you must be, I want to be McPhee. Because every word in your mouth, I get the McPhees this, I get the McPhees that. When you fought the other day with the Roonies, Aney, you had to sin for the McPhees. And Aney, going back to money, you're talking about money. For God's sake, son, my father was a millionaire 40 years ago. I'm going back to me and my brothers. We have plenty of money, son. I won't talk about millionaires and talking stupid old talk. But as all you're living in beyond in Stoke-on-Trent is a couple of old bad handy trailers. And a few houses above in the estate like St. Mel's Terrace and Artloan. And look what the Mahons come over to Dundee, Aney. For God's sake, the Bar Mahons, Aney, broke down all your houses, Aney, and you couldn't get your own back. And little Anthony that was going to kill all the children, I heard him talk about children last night. Why doesn't he go and get the Bar Mahons that ran the trailers the other day and ran Barney's van and ran his mother like a rabbit around the car park after breaking up the trailer? Now, fair is fair, Aney. You're talking about getting your own back. Now, we'll go back to Tommy Purcell, Aney. Tommy Purcell, Aney, ran you like a sheepdog through Northern Ireland. That's the same time he shot me Uncle Tommy. Remember he cut Tommy up in the filling station and he went down and shot you. Now, you're all men talking about getting your own back. I didn't see any of you get your own back at Tommy Purcell, because Tommy Purcell made a dosser out of the whole lot of you. You all have to admit the truth there. He never done a thing back to the man. Nothing. And going back to your Barney, Aney, go up the Neely Tyres, Aney, where they cut him into pieces last year. Tell your Anthony and the boys that's on the YouTube tapes there to get their own back out of the Tyres and the Rileys above in Newcastle. And along with that, tell them get their own back with Jerry and Simon, these young fellas. They went into the filling station and cut them up in bits inside it, and they were able to do nothing about it. And you saying you're going down to Aney Doherty for a drink. Well and good. Aney Doherty must clash you an old dosser. That's all Aney Doherty is clashing you, because there's a smell of you. They bought you a new old tracksuit this morning and tried to clean you up on the tape to make you look something. And you were talking about food and money, Aney. Well, we'll go back about food and money. If you had money, Aney, or a pride in you, when your mother died, Aney, in England, light of heaven to my granny, old Biddy, it was me and my brother Aney and me Uncle Joe had to pay for her funeral and pay for her way home. And you says to us, Aney, I don't have the way to bury her. For God's sake, Aney, if you were a businessman going around telling people you're a businessman, or if you had anything and your young fella saying they're going out to Belgium, they're going out a little bit of a power washer to do a power washing job. I'd earn more, Aney, in a good week than they'd earn in a whole year. There's a show me the boys. Going around talking, taking up for Big Patrick and Tommy. Aney, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's only 3 weeks ago that you were below in the north, Aney, drinking with husband in a fucking wedding, Aney. When you were saying you were going to drive a glass into Christy Stokes' face when you'd meet him again. And I says, Aney, I wouldn't need you to do that. For God's sake, Aney, you cop yourself on. That day is all you were doing was running after Gog's sister around the place, Aney, making a show of your wife Maggie. A fine, respectable woman, to be fair about it. And you want to make a laugh of your wife, and the boys didn't give you credit and praise. You were back below in the north with an old 97 LDV van with an old punch bag hanging out the back of it. And when the boys asked you to go up to the shower, you told the boys you had a shower there in the camp yourself and got a can of water and threw it over yourself. Sure, then I got an old puck goat, Aney wouldn't do that. Go and clean yourself up, Aney. And another thing, if you're talking about getting your own back, we'll go back a bit further. Do you remember, Aney, when old Kiwi's boys, Aney, had a row with you? When Kiwi's Biddy took you out of the van herself and stabbed the 2 lungs out of you, Aney, and you could do nothing about it. She didn't come back around to me, Aney, from that day to this, Aney, old Kiwi's boys cut you into pieces. And Red Barney, the light of heaven to him, old Willie's Barney, Aney, I hope the man is in heaven, of course he will be. Sure, Aney, he cut the arm off you with a slash hook, and you done nothing about it. And your son's there telling you what you're going to do. I cut the 2 lungs out of you, Aney. Sure, the whole world knows that, and you done fuck all about it, and I stayed with you, Aney, long enough ever since. So I can't see why Big Patrick and Tommy has to get you, Aney, to do your fighting for them. Because I'll tell you one thing, they're going for a bad man when they're going for you. Sure, look at it. If my Uncle Tommy was anybody, Why doesn't he go down to Tommy Purcell? Instead of giving little Childer scandal, little 17-year-old young one scandal, tell him go down to Tommy Purcell and get his own back. And if he was any good, go up to his sister Lena, that he robbed the money out of the house at Appleby time, that she had saved up for the three little boys, Barney, Joe and Patrick. Sure, a donor of God, Tommy, you should be ashamed of yourself. But then I'd expect that out of you, Tommy McGinley, and let all the Connorses know that you robbed the Golden Rose out of Knock, Tommy. How could you have respect for anybody? You dirty fucking tramp, you. To go up and rob the Pope's. The Pope left that back, Tommy. Do you understand that? The Pope left that. And you robbed it. And then you went up and robbed your sister's money above in the house and took off the Appleby next morning. That's what you done. You left the early hours of the morning to cover up because you couldn't look your sister Lena in the face. Isn't that true? You fucking dirty tramp, you, Tommy. And you, Patrick, to get your grandchild fucking scandal. I won't say no more, boys. I'll be making no more tapes. I know what you are. Do not call my child sick anymore. And you, Big Patrick, you should have copped down it. For God's sake, to say that your grandchild is sick, to get Aney to say that. Nobody Aney is a tramp. And you're not but another one. And Tommy, the Golden Rose robber, that robbed the Rose of Knock. The whole lot of you, Blue Peter, Tommy and Aney. Go and fuck yourselves. Good luck now, and I'll be making the more tapes on all the travellers in Ireland. When you get Tommy and Patrick in a... Listen, when you get Tommy and Patrick in a fear, listen to me what I'm going to say. Do not look at them. Because one robbed the Golden Rose out of Knock and the other is giving his little granddaughter scandal. And I'll make no more tapes. They can say what they like, but cop yourselves on with the scandal, guys.